Greetings, everybody. Welcome to another movie chat with me, Joe Mayo, also Tom Hunyadi, and also Tim Allen. And as I speak, there's nobody here except the three of us, so nobody's listening to me live. But I'm sure now there's two people there. But when you hear the playback, it'll work out for you. I'm hoping. And I want more people to get here because I was gonna start talking about the change of schedule and things like that. But one of them must have been a troll because one of them left as soon as I said we got two people here. I love the psychology, as if I'm not gonna. I guess that's it. That's it. I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight. Give me a fucking break. But anyway, be that as it may, like it bothers me. It's stupid. That's all it is. But anyway, yeah. So hopefully there'll be some people coming in here if they got the memo because I did change the time. But we'll talk about that as we go on a little bit. And I don't even know what the best way is. I like to talk about something in the beginning that we could like work our way into main topics when we get more of an audience coming here. But I don't know exactly what to talk about. I want that you don't want people to miss, before they get here. Yeah, I'll start talking about the time, I guess, and then I'll mention it again later. Well, I'm trying to do these a different time now. I was doing them like usually Thursday nights, somewhere around 4:30, 5 p.m. Eastern, sometimes 5:30, and that's when people are either getting off from work, usually here, and around that time, or maybe they're gonna have dinner, getting ready for dinner. I don't think it's the best time, so I wanted to try another time, and now we're switching it and seeing how it works out to Monday nights at 8:30 p.m. And I'm thinking a lot of the regular people here might not know this. Now, I'm wondering if this is Jim. It says SHJ. Yeah, it's him. What's going on, Jim? And I've been noticing you're really quite the movie guy. You have some movie stuff. Apparently a big Gene Wilder fan. That's something I could start out with. I kind of watched Young Frankenstein again for the umpteenth time. Maybe I've seen it too much. I don't know. It just don't hold up as much as it used to for me. But Gene Wilder is always great. I just watched that. So yeah, so we're gonna try to do Mondays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I know that's not too good for England, although if that's really Jim, that's that's kind of late now that I think of it over there in jolly old England. It might not be able, it might not work for a lot of people in Europe, but so far it's not working for anybody here because we only got one comment. Well, there's two comments. Hello, Beetle Eddie. What's going on?
Hey,
help, save us. We got to do, these things will catch on hopefully as we go along and everything because
yes,
I'm gonna mess around with the times and the nights the best I can. Never going to accommodate everybody. All right. I'm going to start, I guess. I'll talk about some things that I got. Only a couple of titles, okay? Now, this was something that I was watching, and I hope he sees this on replay, if not live. Mike Gray, 1951, he was talking about a movie called Revenge of the Zombies. Yes, of course, with me, it's the old cheesy horror stuff from 1943, and I forgot. I had made a mental note that was coming out, and I forgot about it. So I quickly ordered it from Amazon, and then I'll talk about this a little bit. Here it is, Revenge of the Zombies. John Carradine is in it. And I saw this one time many years ago. It's terrible, okay? I wouldn't really recommend anybody see it. Don't get carried away by the word zombies or anything. It's kind of a comedy. It's got Mantan Moreland in there. Who's he's funny. But the thing is, I sometimes get these because I have a soft spot for that whole period, that whole era.
What company put that out?
Right. This is Kino Lorber.
Okay.
And I noticed there's a guy, a Serial at Midnight. There's a website out there. And where we talked about him, and he's interviewing the guy. A lot of times, he's talking to the guy that is in charge.
Kino. Yeah,
which is very interesting. So, but here's the thing. I mean, when I saw that Mike was showing this on his channel and talking about it. I said, I forgot about that. I got to order it. I ordered it yesterday. And then when I was in there, sometimes Amazon shows you other things similar. And there was this that I came across. And it says Poverty Row Classics. Okay. And this has King of the Zombies, which is actually a precursor to Revenge of the Zombies. This is 2 years earlier. It's not so much like a prequel or anything. And this is not so much a sequel. This is more like a redo. Revenge of the Zombies is like a redo of King of the Zombies. This also has Mantan Moreland in there. And it has this guy, Henry Victor, who is kind of mimicking Bela Lugosi, because Lugosi was slated to be in here, but he wasn't available. And after they couldn't get Lugosi, they tried getting Peter Lorre. And then they wound up with Henry Victor, who's kind of doing a shtick, it seems, as in Lugosi form. I mean, you could see Lugosi being in this movie. I watched this today, okay? I don't know if I've ever seen this before. 67 minutes, and I fell asleep 10 minutes in. I mean, today. I was just in one of those moods. And I finally got it back on, and I got through the whole thing. But such as it is, again, it's not very good. But they're not all classics. They're not all, The Exorcist or Frankenstein, Karloff. Some of them are just for the mood and the time. And they both take place in World War II time. Okay, now this double feature on this. Now, I have never heard of this. Did you? Miss V from Moscow? Anybody hear of this? Miss V from Moscow is another Poverty Row, Lola Lane double feature. I might try it out just for the hell of it at some point. I didn't buy it for that. I bought it for the other. Got them together. I ordered them yesterday on a Sunday, typed it in, and they came today. There wasn't Amazon Prime, it was just regular Amazon, and I chose standard delivery, the cheapest delivery. I usually go for free delivery. I don't care how long it takes to get here. I just want the free delivery, but I think you're only eligible for that once you order enough stuff in one shot. If you order enough, then you get free delivery. That's what I try to do.
Or
so,
Prime.
Yeah, and then there's Prime, right? Hello, Mike. Then Jim says, absolutely, Wilder is one of my favorites. Sherlock Holmes' smarter brother never gets old for me. That's one I never saw. Did you ever see Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex but Were Afraid to Ask, with the Gene Wilder stuff when he's a doctor who falls in love with a sheep? It's pretty damn funny. That's one of the best things I've ever seen him do, ever. James Farley, hello.
Hello, James.
And then we got hello. I know some people miss the other guys, but hello, Robbie. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about when I was going around the dials. There's the channel that just called Movies, and I don't ever understand, because on my cable channel with that, it always has the movies scrunched. It's not in the right ratio. They're always like squeezed, and I don't know what that's about. But they were having a Mad Helm fest, which it's funny, all the years, even though you love a certain period like the 60s for me or stuff, I didn't really know those movies. And I was watching some and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I said, I love Dean Martin, I guess, as a vocalist, but I can't take him seriously as a kind of agent or whatever he is.
Oh,
Matt
they're
Helm.
not supposed to be serious.
I was just going to say, if you let me
comedies.
if you let me go on, it is kind of a spoof. As I looked everything up and read more about it, and I'm like, oh, okay, I could handle that, because he's over there punching. You're right, he's all like worn out and soaked in booze. I really can't imagine him really like, getting into these fights. But I saw people in there like Anne Margaret was in some of the one I watched, and James Gregory, who was in everything. He's in everything. James Gregory was in one. I think he plays his boss or something. I guess it's maybe a character that's in all of them. Like he's the M of Mad Helm or whatever. But Woody Allen is a sperm cell in that Everything You Always Wanted to Know About Sex.
Yep. I think that was the last segment.
Yeah. And Tony Randall's in it too. The last
Yes.
one. Burt Reynolds.
How do you manage to that?
$35 order necessary for free delivery. So I just thought that was something I could throw in. I didn't really sit down to watch it really, any of these movies, and they got the commercials and everything too in those, in that channel. But I just thought I'd bring that up because it's 60s movies, that whole vibe, but spy thrillers or whatever, and comedy, But I didn't go through it more. Oh, this is interesting. Yeah, this movie I was going to say. What about the movie Scenes from a Mall with Woody Allen? Did anybody ever with Bette Midler? Did you ever see that?
I have not seen that movie.
That's one. I think that's one that's hard to find now. I've never seen it. I've seen clips from it, and it's supposed to be a horror, one of his worst movies. Scenes from a Mall where he's like hanging around with, I guess his wife is Bette Midler, and they're like in the mall with the whole thing, arguing, having problems and all this. I think the whole thing takes place in a shopping mall.
Was that one of the films he directed, or that wasn't one of his movies he directed?
There's something unique about it. I can't remember what. I'm thinking he didn't direct it, but I'm trying to think what it was that was unique about it.
I'll look into that one.
Yeah. Please do. I don't even know if it's available. Sometimes with him, it's hard to get the movies the way you want them. I still want that movie, Everyone Says I Love You, which I saw in the movie theater. And I don't recall how to get that unless I think it's in a box set somewhere with other stuff.
Right. I mean, it did get a DVD release, a solo DVD release, but yeah, I think it's in a box set now with all the films that came out around that time of his.
Dean Martin just plays himself in films, no matter the actual character. I'm trying to think. Isn't there another? Was he also in the ones with Sammy Davis Jr.? What's that series? Is it Sammy Davis? I think it's not Salt and Pepper, is it? I kind of want to.
No, he's not in Salt and Pepper. I don't know. He's in some Sinatra films. Dean Martin refused to rehearse. Dean Martin. And this goes for his TV show, too. He just showed up. His TV show taped on Fridays. For his TV show, he just showed up and did it. The rest of the crew and cast, everybody rehearsed all week long. Friday, Dean Martin would show up and do the show. And he does the same thing for movies. He just doesn't rehearse. He just shows up and reads his lines and goes, okay, let's go. And
that's Dean Martin. I could see that. I like the Dean Martin roasts.
Yeah,
I'll give you that. I'll give him that. But I said I do like. Sometimes I wonder if I like his singing better than Sinatra. I mean, I don't know when I hear the vocalists.
You can get Scenes from a Mall on Amazon on DVD.
Oh, okay. I have a funny feeling that's one just DVD. It's not a lot of his stuff's not on Blu-ray or HD, right?
No, not yet. No.
Peter Lawford was in Salt and Pepper.
Yeah.
What's the other movies I watched? Right. Try to remember.
Eddie, Dean Martin did drink. He wasn't the lush that he played, but he was a drinker. He was a good drinker, but he wasn't as bad as he played. But Dean Martin was a drinker.
But I think he played up that image a lot, right?
He played up the image, but he was a drinker. He definitely was a drinker.
Yeah, I'm thinking of like there was other movies and things we watched. I thought, wow, but what were they? It was on something came on TV. With my girlfriend, I watched it all the way through. I'm still getting to work on Lost in Space. It's funny though. Like one of my favorite episodes of Lost in Space, maybe the best everybody loves, who's a fan of the show, is the Antimatter Man. And I was watching that for the umpteenth time. I got to that one. And it's still maybe my favorite. But I tell you, one thing, now the TV screens are bigger. And now you have really clear high definition. And I could tell like the Guy Williams stuntman and stuff like that. Because he plays dual roles, an evil John Robinson and a good one. They use that a few times, right? But when they're having a fight and stuff. Like I never used to be able to tell when it was on a regular size 20-inch TV, and when you were growing up. And in fact, there was a girl that was the stunt double stand-in for Billy Mooney, and I saw recently a picture of the two of them hanging out at, as friends on the set, which I never saw a picture before. Him and his stunt, a girl dressed like him, his uniform and everything. And you could see there's a scene in there where it's her, but they film it kind of in shadow. And during the commentary track, it's a commentary track, and Billy Mooney says, "Oh yeah, that's Sandy. That's not me. That's Sandy," because he maybe had to be at school or he wasn't there that day when they shot it or something. But I'm just saying, my point is, as much as I still enjoy that episode and so many other things, you do sometimes get things spoiled for you a little bit more because you could see so clear.
Oh yeah, all those shows. It's not just Sausage Face, Batman, Star Trek. You can see
all of that. I never used to think too much about that. Oh yeah, Batman and Robin.
Even back in the day, I used to laugh because Robin's stuntman was like this 45-year-old guy. It was so obvious. It was so obvious it wasn't Robin, even on a small TV. You're like, that's not Robin.
Yeah, regarding Dino's boozing up, I heard it was all an act. I don't know. I heard some stories that
he was acting, yes, but he was a drinker too.
He was acting. I'm sure he was, playing it up. But the thing is,
that doesn't mean
I know stories of people, Charlton Heston among them, I think, who told in his autobiography of him being pickled. So I mean, one time.
That's what basically killed him, I think, in the end, was his hard drinking his whole life as well.
Probably.
It's been a long time since I saw The Front, but when I was watching all the Woody Allen movies, I remember being impressed by it.
The Front's great. Front might be my favorite Woody Allen movie.
Yeah, I liked it when I saw it. And Radio Days I never saw, believe it or not. It's another popular one, and I never saw it.
Yeah, it's decent, but I don't think it's the best 80s one.
I don't remember it that well, but
I just thought of something that I said that Young Frankenstein. I saw some of it and watched it again. I was on TV, and it didn't hold up as much for me. But High Anxiety, which I've still never seen the whole thing, there's a part in there I really like, and I'm not going to act it out. I don't even know exactly what's going on in the scene where they're talking in the mental institution to this patient that thinks he sees werewolves or something. He's familiar with the movie because I don't want and he's talking to Harvey Korman, who's a doctor. I think Harvey Korman's a doctor. And then so's Mel Brooks, and they're trying to talk to this guy. And for whatever reason, Harvey Korman wants to keep him in there or something. So he says, I used to have pains in my neck or something. So then Harvey Korman's got a paper clip, and while he's talking to Mel Brooks with a rubber band, he shoots him in the neck. He's like, my neck, and all this kind of the pain again. And he keeps taking shots with the thing. And then he starts Mel Brooks is talking to him. Harvey Korman sticks behind his back and puts fangs in his mouth. He's going like this. And he's like, werewolves. I'm seeing werewolves again. He takes the teeth out and later on puts them back in again. I just thought that was a hilarious freaking scene. And then, of course, there's the spoof of the birds that I like when I think, it's it's a send-up of Hitchcock movies. Anxiety. Then there's the part in the park where the birds all lining up to attack, and then he will crap on him. He's running. He just jump on him while he's running. I remember. Did Marlon Brando read his lines and not learn them?
He read them, but I guess it
really?
just depends on what film. I mean, I there's stories out there of him not learning his lines. There's stories of him reading his lines off of cue cards, and just being a total diva or pain in the ass or whatever you want to
In
say.
the early days,
But in the early days, though, he he knew his lines, and especially in the Godfather. I mean, that's he read that's the script there, and
even earlier than that.
But there's films where he was he tried to see what he can get away with if he didn't respect the director or what. But yeah, he would be a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
But a Godfather.
Mm-hmm.
And Hannah and her Sisters, I like that one. That's one of my favorite.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in the theater. Somebody brought me to it. I can't remember. Probably my wife, but who knows?
It's probably the top 5. Hannah's Sisters is probably in the top 5 best of his 80s.
Yeah, I love Crimes and Misdemeanors. That's one of my favorite ones. I think it's 89, that one, I think.
Right.
Stardust Memories, I saw that too. I mean, again, I went through a period where I was like watching everything I could find. And I remember it had a weird beginning of him on a train or something. It's a weird opening. But I remember thinking that was pretty good, Stardust Memories. I'm not sure. I'm losing what this is in reference to. Oh, yeah. And, of course, I do love Broadway Danny Rose. That's another one of my favorites, too.
Right.
Oh, I know what that's in reference to. Marlon Brando reading his lines. He's saying they wrote him on the baby's diapers.
Oh, okay.
I'm just interpreting the comment.
I got into the Marlon Brando phase. I was when I was watching classic stuff like On the Waterfront, which I remember liking, and Streetcar Named Desire. I was doing all that, and then I saw a movie that I thought was terrible, and I can't remember it. It's a later movie. I thought it was terrible. Something about the long something. I can't remember what it was called. Help me, guys. I feel like a schmuck when I can't remember it. We all get like that. The Longest Day.
Yeah, that's with him and Elizabeth Taylor, I believe.
She in that too?
No, wait. Let me look. I think no, it's not Elizabeth. I'm thinking of something else. But give me a second.
Familiar, but
Love and Death looks like a kind of period thing I wouldn't like, but I still got to see it,
But I mean, I think his career started like hit a little hitch when he did Guys and Dolls, and Frank Sinatra is in the movie, and
Frank is in it. Yeah,
Marlon Brando is cast as the singer and not Sinatra, and it's like, are you nuts? How stupid are you? You've got Marlon Brando singing.
Are you talking about Night of the Following Day?
Yeah, Night of the Following Day. I think that's it.
Yeah, Richard Boone's in that too.
God, I hated that movie. I don't remember what it was about it, but I got folks. I said this before. I've got notes written down, and I could do a movie a day for like 800-900 days. I got like enough that I just got to do that without actually seeing them again. But maybe I saw it like 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, he's another actor that I would own everything, or almost everything that he's done. I mean, I can't sit through the Island of Dr. Monroe that he did.
Oh, yeah. No.
But I didn't. Yeah, Guys and Dolls was in one. Yeah, it was Frank Sinatra and Brando. But I still own it. I don't mind it. But yeah, with him being the singer, the lead, this lead, and then also singing "Luck Be a Lady Tonight," it just doesn't work.
And you've got Sinatra who's not singing. Yeah. It's like, are you what?
Right.
Well, I want to say Indie Phantom.
I don't want any.
Thank you, Indie Phantom, and I hope if you're watching my videos, I really appreciate it because I'm trying to boost the channel up a little bit, do a few more reviews. The thing is, now I'm doing a slew of really bad grade Z horror Poverty Row movies, so it's kind of rough. Yeah, and for a while I was thinking my top Allen might be Crimes and Misdemeanors. I like it that much. It's hard for me to say. I remember when I saw Match Point, I really was like thinking that was really good. The first time I really loved it. Second time I showed it to somebody, I didn't love it as much, but I still liked it. What's the other one? I like Husbands and Wives a lot. You know, not everybody, not a favorite of everybody. Hey, look, you just happened to mention it. Husbands and Wives. How about Manhattan Murder Mystery? I like that one too. I like it when he came back, like in 2000. I like when he was doing stuff like Small Time Crooks, and when he was doing Hollywood Ending.
Yeah, I thought that one was kind of a lesser one.
Yeah,
myself, but
I heard Jackie Gleason was a big drinker and did the shows drunk. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
There it is, Small Time Crooks. I love that movie. God, I love that one.
VHS. Woo-hoo.
And speaking of Jackie Gleason, the beginning is he's like channeling Jackie Gleason in there. Like he's with Tracy Ullman and he's in the apartment and she's like giving him grief. Like, ooh, what did he? I'm telling you, I'm going to let you have it, Frenchie. Ooh, let me tell you. Ooh. And he's like getting like Jackie Gleason in it. Did I put Bananas up there? Somebody said Bananas. Yeah. You know what? Mighty Aphrodite. I love the beginning of the first kind of half of it. Well, he's looking to find the boy's mother, and then once he finds the boy's mother, and it goes down to me. I don't like the second half too much, and I hate that Greek chorus.
Oh yeah, that one Mira Savini or Savino, however you pronounce her name, last name. Yeah, she won a Best Supporting Actress for that.
Oh, by the way,
I like that movie. I like the Greek chorus, but I don't think it was great.
That might have been the movie he was working on when I got to meet him briefly in the city, and I got his autograph. And I knew, and I had read in the papers he was having trouble with this movie, whatever movie he was making. So I said, "Good luck with the movie." And he said, "Oh, thank you very much." It was so excellent a moment. And the thing is, I met him I saw him at October '94, and Mighty Aphrodite was '95. So that might have been the movie that he was working on. I want to say one thing. When you talked about whatever you just said, I forgot, but awards or something like that. This King of the Zombies, it was nominated, I should say, for an award. The music, this horrible thing, the horrible movie. But the thing is, I found out from listening to the commentary by Tom Weaver. Tom Weaver he's great. I love Tom Weaver. I love his commentaries. He knows all this stuff. He was saying he didn't realize until recently that back then you were able to nominate your own song for the movie. It wasn't like the Academy or something picked this.
Right.
It was the studio that nominated the song for their movie, for their own movie. So that was interesting, you know. Let's go.
Marlon Brando and Elizabeth Taylor were. It was Reflections in a Golden Eye. That was supposed to have been Montgomery Clift, a film with Elizabeth Taylor, but he had died, and then she convinced Brando to do it.
Husbands and Wives, really damn good. Shaky cam bit is a bit nauseating. Yeah, I usually don't care for that too much, but I don't mind it in that one. Bananas is a little too political at times for me, but there's parts I like in it. I mean, I love early on when Woody Allen is on a train and the old lady's getting mugged or something. He just pretends to start shaking. He's reading a newspaper. He doesn't want to get involved.
Is that the scene with very young Stallone?
Stallone is in it, yeah. All right, boys, guys, excuse me. Let's go to you guys about if you got any. Do you pick up any movies or anything, or see anything? Let's go.
Yeah, I picked up two things. Didn't get to the theater this past week, but a couple movies that recently came out. One was a flop. I remember liking this. I did have it on DVD back in the day, but they call it a Pulp Fiction knockoff. You know, once Pulp Fiction came a hit, you know, there's a lot of films that came out that not necessarily in the style of it, but whatever. See what you want about it. But it's called Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, with Andy Garcia. You also got Christopher Walken in this. You got William Forsythe. You got Treat Williams, Jack Warden, Steve Buscemi. So a couple people that were actually in Pulp Fiction were in this as well. But it's not a bad little gangster film. And, Christopher Walken plays a paralyzed gangster that has Andy Garcia, who used to be a gangster, but he got out. But the whole one last job, thing storyline, and then things. He assembles a team, and things. Let's just say just don't go according to plan, as these movies as they do. But a couple commentaries on here, which are good. And this was released by Kino Lorber as well. So fun little movie. And then
great. The only conversation I ever had with Warren Zevon, I had one conversation with the man from stage. He was up on stage, and he asked if things we do in Denver when we're dead was any good, because that's his song. They took
that's his song, right?
And he hadn't seen it, and my only answer was, I don't know. I haven't seen it either. And he's like, these things are never good. And then he just went on with his song.
Right. Yeah. And they play the song during the credits too. So it's a good song. I mean, it's not bad.
It's a great song.
Yeah. Then, my favorite actor, Joe's favorite actress, this was the kind of
Falling in Love. No,
Falling in Love. There you go. Just came out on Blu-ray as well. This was the main attraction for the film. This was reuniting De Niro and Meryl Streep, who appeared together in 1978's The Deer Hunter. Now, it's not as bad as I remember. It's still not a good movie, but there is some chemistry between De Niro and Meryl Streep in the film. It's not bad. This does have a pretty good commentary as well. You got Diane Wiest, who talking about Woody Allen films. She's been in quite a few Woody Allen films, and they got Harvey Keitel, both play supporting roles in the film. And again, it was fun seeing this. I hadn't seen this in probably 20 years or so. So it was good revisiting this film. Like I said, it just came out on Blu-ray. So anytime that I can upgrade a De Niro film to Blu-ray is a good day for me. So, but those are my two pickups for this week.
Well, how are you making out? You got a 4K player? Have you been fooling
Not
around
yet.
with it?
Not yet. No. I that I think I've told you that the whole picture sleeves from around the world thing is kind of like is taken over my life. So yeah.
Okay. So Take the Money and Run along with Wizards at a double feature.
Oh, the animated the animated film Wizards, right?
And one of my favorite Woody Allen movies is Played Against Sam that he's in. That's my top three or something. That he has to do with. You guys like The Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio?
Yeah,
haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Wild flick, things to do in Denver.
Yeah.
How about do you like the Comeback Trail with the?
It's not a bad little movie. I mean, that movie was supposed to come out. Tommy Lee Jones, Morgan Freeman are in that movie too. That's a movie that got destroyed by COVID as well. It didn't get released in theaters. However, I was able to buy the film on Blu-ray in Canada. They released it, and I was able to purchase it and watch it a couple years ago. And it's not a bad little film. And I think they just tried to get it. It just recently got into a handful of films not too long ago. But because of COVID, kind of destroyed that. But it's not a bad little film.
Good old COVID. Now, Manhattan, that's a movie that I love the look of this film. I love the black and white photography. There's some things in it I like, but I did, including Meryl Streep, young Meryl Streep. But there's something about it I don't like. I don't like the ending. I don't think the ending doesn't do it for me. The last scene or whatever. But anyway, I'll give it another look. It's a beautiful looking movie, Manhattan. So Tom and Tim. So Tim, what's going on with you? What have you seen recently?
Well, I was thinking one day, who's an actor that I haven't watched in a movie in a long time lately? And I thought, as one does, I know I haven't seen Avery Shriver in a movie in a while.
Yeah, sure.
So I watched Galaxina, and I would put that in the running for the worst movie ever made.
Yeah,
rightfully
there
so.
is nothing good about this movie. It's not an exploitation movie. It should be, but it's not. It's got an R rating, and I think it's a self-imposed R rating. I think if they would have actually put it in front of the film board, it would have got a PG. There's nothing in this movie to give it an R rating. Nothing. I think because Dorothy Stratton was in it, they thought people thought she would be naked, so they put an R rating on it so that people would go see the movie. But now the second feature was better. The Crater Lake Monster. It wasn't great, but compared to it was friggin' Citizen Kane compared to Galaxina. So. It's not memorable. I don't really remember much about it. There's a lake and there's a monster and nobody believes it. There's these two comedic guys in it that are actually steal the movie, and you'd think you'd hate them, but you kind of don't. You're glad they're there. They kind of add some life to the thing. So yeah, I watched that on Blu-ray. Ooh, I have the worst movie ever made on Blu-ray. And then I watched some things, not purposely, the last two, but I watched some things that I hadn't seen in a long time, and two I forgot I'd seen. And in fact, I've seen them within the last year. But I watched That Thing You Do, which I haven't seen in a long time, but people give a lot of hate to this movie, and I don't really understand why. I think it's actually a pretty good movie. And the thing I noticed about it that I really liked, is I like the fact that Tom Hanks takes care of his own. Both his kids are in this movie. His wife is in this movie. His old partner from Bosom Buddies is in this movie. I like that. I like that he takes care of his own, and he, if he can, he'll help people out, and it's a good movie. And if you haven't seen it, I think it's worth a look.
I wonder if he was he a co-producer on that film? Maybe that's how he got all of his family and friends.
Well, he was. I don't know if he directed it. So
okay, direct. Well, then there you go. That's what it was. Yeah,
it. So I don't know if he has any production credits or not, but he directed it. So and his wife has a fairly large part in it. She's the waitress that tries to get with the drummer towards the end of the movie in the bar. If people have never seen it. That's Tom Hanks' wife.
But it all has that 60s vibe to it and everything, right?
Yeah, it's a very realistic, not realistic because it's a comedy, but it's it's what you like to think the 60s were like. And I think he did a pretty good job.
Now, was the band American or are they British?
They're American. They're from Ohio or some. I think they're from Steuben, Ohio, actually.
Yeah, because I never had any interest in seeing the movie. Honestly.
Oh, it's good. I actually highly recommend this movie, especially.
I don't love the song. That's the thing. Well, I don't love it.
I do, and Adam Schlesinger wrote it, and he died, and that just made me really sad. But all the music in it's pretty good, I think. And you can't help but fall in love with Liv Tyler. She's
nice.
And so Charlize Theron is in it too. But
then I must see it. I've seen movies just because she's in
her in this movie, especially.
No, I've seen movies with her just because it's her.
But yeah.
Let me take a moment to thank, because when people give a super chat, or I like to acknowledge them right away. So thank you, David. God bless you and all you love, as you often say. And Annie Hall, I think Annie Hall's overrated, and that's not to say it's not good. I think it's good. Just that whenever I see Annie Hall, I'm thinking I've seen this before. It's take the money and run again, more or less. I don't know. His other movies, I don't think anything stands out about it different than other movies, and I'm surprised it won Best Picture. Honestly, anybody else?
I'm not surprised it won Best.
I don't love it. It's okay. I don't love Woody Allen films for the most part, to be honest. They're okay.
The Rattles.
The Rattles are a German, probably the biggest band to come out of Germany in the 60s. They were the German Beatles. They're good. Yeah, it does, actually.
There you go.
Bing. And so, anyway, I watched Richard Widmark, The Secret Ways, which turned out I probably watched within the last year and completely forgot about it because I'm old. And it's okay. Richard Widmark plays the good guy for a change, which is nice to see. And it's a spy movie, you know. It's a typical 60s spy movie. It's good. It's good as it needs to be. And speaking of Marlon Brando, I watched The Fugitive Kind, which again I watched like a year ago and forgot all about it. And this is a good movie, but you know, I don't like Brando. You're not supposed to.
Yeah,
I don't think, but you don't, and it's hard. It's always hard for me when you don't really like the lead character to love a movie.
And the Manana is fantastic in there too, I think.
Yeah, it's an interesting point you brought up with that, Tim. But I think it depends. Sometimes, like I can't get behind Gone with the Wind because I hate Scarlett O'Hara so much. But there's other movies where even though they're bad, so to speak, like Pulp Fiction, for example, they're not good guys really, but I love them the characters anyway.
No, but sometimes you like them, but if you don't like them, it doesn't really matter if they're good or bad. Are they likable? And if you don't like them, like there's whole movies where John Waters' Pink Flamingos. I mean, it's awful. But I mean, there's not one character in that movie that you like at all.
Right.
And that makes it really difficult,
I mean, you don't even the dog at the end. You don't like the dog at the end either.
No. Oh God. Oh God. Oh, the end of that.
If you know, you know. If you know,
the worst thing I've ever seen. Yeah.
Oh, the guy on the stump isn't the worst thing you ever seen?
Oh, no, the end, because it's real. Because there's no way they could fake it. And
I guess you got a point there.
No. Anyway, I'm almost done. I went back and I picked up where I left off on the Columbo movies. I've only seen one.
Yeah, I haven't been to them in a long time. I wish we could do that.
The one I saw was really good. It's called Portrait of His Own Murder or something like that. It's the last movie from 1989. And there's really nobody famous in it, but it was a really good episode. And it's funny because on Doc's channel, where he's always talking about Vito Scotti. We're always making fun of Vito Scotti, right? And there's Vito Scotti. His name comes up at the beginning is one of the character players, and I'm just like, ooh, Vito Scotti. I wonder if I'll recognize him, right? And then part way into the movie, the camera zooms in on this bar that's called Vito's, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna recognize him. And there he is behind the bar. They named his character Vito. Like, well, I guess I know who he is. I thought that was interesting. But yeah, so I watched the Columbo, and then really quickly,
hello, Brad.
There wasn't a second Columbo movie on the third disc in this. There's a special of promoting their new all mystery channel, whatever network it is, CBS, ABC, I don't even remember. But anyway, I forget what the channel's called, but it was the top 10 sleuths of all time, voted by you, the public, and it's like, yeah, right, okay. And Quincy was number 5. I'm sorry, Quincy. I mean, nothing wrong with the show, but the one of the 5 greatest detectives of all time is Quincy.
I don't know about that. I mean, I tried watching a few of those shows, and I just can't do it. Klugman. I mean, Klugman is Oscar Madison to me, and every time I see that,
to me, it gets worse. Okay, number 3 is Rockford. Okay, I get behind that all day. He could even be number 2 in my book. Number 2 was Columbo. Okay, I can get behind that all day too, except he should have been number 1. Number 1 was Magnum P.I. I'm like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tom
outta
Selleck
here.
one? Was that? What is that? Tom Selleck?
Tom Selleck.
There's no way Magnum PI is better than Columbo. Get out of
No,
here.
I don't think so.
So yeah, that kind of no thanks. Didn't agree with that.
What about Kojak?
Kojak wasn't on there. Nope, no Kojak. So many people weren't on the list. Sherlock Holmes was on the list. He was 10. But Magnum PI is clearly 10 times better than Sherlock Holmes. Freak.
So yeah.
I'll tell you the other thing that was funny about that list. Coming in at like number 9 or something like that was now I can't remember his name. The gruff guy on Law and Order, the guy that was there for 12 years.
I know the guy you mean. I can't think of his name. I think it is.
Yeah, I know his character's name.
With the slick back hair?
Yeah, specifically his character was number 9, right? Number 8 was CSI. But it was all of CSI. No one particular character or anything. And I thought that was funny. Lenny Briscoe, that's his name. Lenny Briscoe was, had his own, but CSI, it took the whole show to get it in there. I'm like,
talking about Jerry Orbach from Law and Order?
Jerry Orbach. Yeah. But I just thought it was funny that CSI was just on it as a show, everybody. And Jerry Orbach was on it for the character he played, which is how it should be. It shouldn't be a whole show. Anyway, okay, I'm done.
That's it. We got time for 30, 40 more questions. We got no way to go. I tell you, it ain't easy being me.
Well, Tim said vetoes, and that reminded me of Rodney joke too. It says vetoes, formerly known as nuncios, and he's talking about another, restaurant or whatever.
Yeah.
Vito Scotti was in everything in the 60s, Brad. He was on Gilligan's Island 4 times. One of them's in a flashback, but he was on in 4 different episodes. You name a show, The Monkees, he was any show, Flying Nun, Hogan's Heroes, doesn't matter what show. He was in a show in the 60s and probably the 70s too. He was just everywhere. So see him in 1989 still doing it was funny.
I'll let you know my answer to this if I ever care to see either one of them. I know how great they're supposed to be, but they're just
I'll take Lawrence of Arabia.
Man, yeah,
it's tough though, but I'll take Lawrence of Arabia.
There's a few great scenes in Bridge of the River Kwai. But I guess you gotta go Lawrence.
Yeah, overall, to me, it slightly rings truer, if that makes any sense. Lawrence of Arabia over Bridge over the River Kwai. I don't know. It just rings truer to me. They're both great, though.
Tom, how's the Odd Couple doing?
Well, I took a little break there. I'll get back to it. I'm on the last disc. So I'm kind of like, savoring that because it's going to be the last one. Yes, I know I can go back and watch them all over again, but it's going to be sad. It's been a fun journey, watching all the seasons of The Odd Couple. But yeah, hopefully by the next time by the next time I do the next movie chat, I'll have them all watched.
A while ago, I forget if it's New Year's or whatever, they play them all uncut because they're not uncut unfortunately. But the thing is, it's still, as you can see, you're still enjoying them, no problem. But the thing is, the ending of the last episode, not the very last scene. Yeah, the last scene is intact, but a funny bit at the end is cut. I remember when they were showing it on TV, I recorded it off the screen and I saved it. I said, after he finishes the last one, I want to send him this little clip of what was missing. But the thing is, I don't know if I still have it. I don't think I have it anymore. Chauncey Phillips, you've been packing on the pounds again. The real Chauncey Phillips, not you. This is not the real Chauncey Phillips, but I've been noticing that a little bit. Bridge on the River Kwai is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah?
All I know is I always hear Pierre Boulle, who did Planet of the Apes. They always mention that, but his greatest story since Bridge on the River Kwai. It's like that's I always have that tied into Planet of the Apes, that title, for that reason. Trying to see if there's anything else. Well, I'm just looking for stuff to talk about here, and I don't really have anything. You all know already that I did reviews of these two cheesy movies, The Giant Gila Monster and The Killer Shrews, and I have more fun with The Killer Shrews than I do with that. I like The Killer Shrews. And I said in my video at the end of The Killer Shrews, I said I heard, which I didn't know, and Tom, I worked this into the archives edition of McCartney. Killer Shrews was made in 1959. The sequel was made in 2012. So just because you never know how many decades or whatever go by. But the thing is, I didn't know there was a sequel, and the actor is in it. James Best is in the sequel, along with Bruce Davison, who's been in all kinds of things, but I like him in Willard, the original Willard. Yeah. So the thing is, they did some really cheesy sequel in 2012 to this. So I looked at the trailer, and the trailer is abominable because it's all complete tongue-in-cheek and silly and stupid. Let's have a goof off this whole thing. So I'll never see it. I remember saying, I got to track down the sequel now. If they're just going to make fun of the whole damn thing and be really stupid on purpose instead of, unintentionally funny, no, I like them taking it serious. So I'm going to skip it after I said I was looking forward to tracking it down. The trailer was that bad.
Right. The network, right, Joe?
Well, I still can't remember the whole story because Jack Klugman always said they were never, when they were on, they weren't a success. It wasn't a success. It was in the reruns. But that happened with other things too, like Star Trek, I think, and some other things. But there was some reason somebody liked the show. One of the guys involved who kept it on the air, and there was some reason why they kept it on the air every season. Anyway, and but the last episode does end, complete book close.
Bookends it. Yeah.
So it's not like they just in the middle of nowhere they just pulled the plug and canceled it.
You know what?
Proper ending.
I did have one question for you, Joe, because as somebody that has watched, every episode multiple times, the last season I noticed that the credits are just up on a blue screen.
Yeah.
They don't show the scenes like they used to show in the previous seasons. So I wonder if that was just because they were, running out of money, or people, or for whatever reason, they just showed it out the credits up against the blue screen and not the images that we're used to seeing the past, seasons. So,
I don't know why that is, but I never thought it meant anything really, no special reason or anything.
Right.
I don't know. It's just hard to believe because I remember that being on prime time when I was a kid, and it was like,
terrible time. Friday night. People were busy on Friday nights. No shows did well on Friday night.
Yeah, it's funny you should say that because I saw. Did you ever see that guy come across? He's on Facebook sometimes, and he shows if you were watching TV back in 1972 on a Friday night, this is what you saw, and they had the lineup that I loved as a child because you don't forget the story was that the adults used to go over. We lived in Queens, New York, and everybody was very close. So the adults used to go over and play cards or whatever they were playing. And they'd play it in the kitchen. And the kids, me and my cousins and my sister, we all gather, sit on the floor or come on the couch. A lot of us, like 8 of us or something. And we'd watch, this is kids now. We'd watch The Brady Bunch at 8 o'clock. We'd watch The Partridge Family at 8:30. Room 222 came on at 9, which is about high school. And, we weren't in high school. And
Karen Valentine.
Valentine. And we loved the show, even though, we didn't know what it was like to go to college, high school. But we'd find out soon, right? And then 9:30 was The Odd Couple, which was I loved. And then 10 o'clock was Love American Style. It was the greatest lineup. ever. Well, nostalgia, kids, I mean, and again, Love American Style was like mild, soft core. Would you say soft core? Sexy stuff that was a little too over the head.
Sexy stuff. It was what the UK would call after the watershed. But we don't have a watershed in America, but that's what they call it in the UK.
But it was like, light, sexy humor, but like, not for kids really, about dating and, this and that and the other thing. And that was like 10 to 11. I think that was an hour show. And, if I'm not mistaken. And then it was time to go home. We got there. I don't know what time we got there. They got there 7 o'clock, 7:30, something like that. And time to go home. And it was great every Friday. No school Saturday. And of course, Saturday you had the horror movies on, creature features and killer theater. So it was great. Let's see. Where are we at here? For some reason, I've always been hesitant to watch 3+ hour or nearly 3-hour films. Really haven't seen too many myself.
That's too bad. A lot of great ones out there.
Yeah. I mean, I got to make room in my schedule to do it, but I'll do it.
I'll say what I always said, like this movie that I was watching today, and I did ultimately finish it, but it was King of the Zombies. It's 67. It's an hour and 7 minutes, 67 minutes, and it just goes on and on and on. And then sometimes I'll see a movie that's longer. I don't know whether it's like a Scarface or I always talk about Ben-Hur, which I love, and I don't even think about the time when I'm watching those movies.
Epic.
Yeah, no, you don't. If you start looking at you're watching a movie, then it needs some cutting.
Yeah. Let's see. I heard a number of sequels to unintentionally bad films where after they get infamous, they make a sequel that's bad on purpose and it's insufferable. That's what this is. They know that the original Killer Shrews is like a cult film that's considered, bad mystery science theater worthy and all that, so they're just kind of cashing in on that and playing it. Let's just completely make fun of it. And I always tell that story. It's a little tired because people have heard that story before in here, but not everybody here has heard it, but some people have. So it's new to some people.
Well,
we had this.
This is every network. You couldn't just go off the air because people didn't watch TV on Friday nights. you had to put the shows on. So yes, there were shows on, but one of the channels around 1969 or 1970 started doing like a Friday night movie, and they started doing made-for-TV movies, and they got more ratings than everybody else did. Because look, I get to see a movie that nobody's ever seen before for 2 hours, and that hurt on Friday nights. A lot of people that were watching TV on Friday nights were watching the made-for-TV movie, whichever. And even all the channels would preempt programs once in a while to show a made-for-TV movie. I mean, the Odd Couple would get preempted. Every station did that. After that happened, they're all like, "Ooh, made-for-TV movies," and they would preempt the programming.
Jack Palance
on Friday or Saturday, but not always.
Jack Palance, I was looking forward as a kid to watching him in Dracula, made-for-TV movie, and it was preempted. But I think it was Nixon's resignation speech or something came on, and it was like preempted. I didn't care about that crap, I knew Dracula wasn't on that. So, and the Odd Couple, they tried, if I'm not mistaken, they tried different time slots and things for that.
Yeah, I don't, most people just know the time it was originally on. WKRP got moved all the time. Lots of shows got moved, Yeah,
they did that with a lot of shows, even All in the
Star
Family.
Trek got moved. Yeah. I've said this before. Guess what time Star Trek went on in its third season?
When you tell me, I'll remember, but go ahead.
You wonder why it got canceled.
6 p.m.
10 o'clock.
No.
I don't know.
And what day of the week, too?
I don't know. You can tell me.
Star Trek went on at 9:30 on Sunday night. An hour-long show started on the half hour, and you wonder why it got canceled.
I wonder why.
Horrible.
What's this trilogy?
I can't say that I'm familiar with that. You got us on that one.
Is that silent trilogy from the 20s about the? No, it's not. Is it? It can't be. It's something like that, but that's not it. I don't think. So I don't know.
He'll have the entire series of Sanford and Son. I've never seen the whole thing. It's one of those series. I start out, I get to the first season, maybe into the second, then I stop.
I just watched it in reruns. We wouldn't watch it when we were that. Let's just say this about my house. That show wasn't going to be on our living room TV anyway in our house.
Okay.
So.
Take with that as you will.
Yes, take that as you will.
So, on in my house. I'm glad
I watched it. I loved it in reruns. I don't think I ever saw it when it was actually on, but it got shown on reruns a lot, and even like when the channels like TBS and whatever, they would show it too at night in prime time. So I saw it then.
Sure.
Yeah, that's how I remember watching Sanford and Son was reruns.
Yeah.
All right. So what else is going on, folks? Got anything else to talk about? Let's keep it going. Do you guys have anything? Tim and Tom, do you guys have anything else? While we wait for comments.
I watched some more Something Weird movies, but I don't even remember which ones. It probably a week ago, or close to a week ago, maybe. But I'm still keeping up with that anyway. I'm trying to watch 100 of those this year. I'll get there easy. I probably watched 60 some already.
I'm looking to pick up Capote on Blu-ray. I know Kino Lorner just put that one out. That was with the Philip Seymour Hoffman, which he had won Best Actor for. So I'm looking to pick that up soon. There's some Criterion stuff I need to catch up on. And let's see here. Got so many films here that I want to buy. It's just like, which one do you pick up first? I do want to get that Godzilla versus Biollante. How do you pronounce? Is that how you pronounce it, Joe?
Yeah, that's close enough. They call it the Italian monster.
Yeah.
You want it because it's Criterion. You want it because it's
well,
Criterion.
Of course, Joe.
But that doesn't mean anything. Do you have that whole Criterion Godzilla set?
No, but I almost, because during the half off sales, I see it and it's just like I have it in my hand. It's like, okay, do I pick up this or do I pick up some of the other stuff?
Well,
I generally always pick up the other stuff.
This is all right. This is all right. I mean, you can see reviews on here. It is here. I just got it. Godzilla versus Biollante, the Italian monster.
Yes,
I always say that. He's a plant. It's a plant that turns into a monster. But the thing is, there was a new series of Godzilla films. The original series stopped in 1975, I think. And then in 1984, they made the new series at the time, where the effects were way better. And this was the second one of the new series from 1989. And it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. There's better ones, there's worse ones, and that whole series. I even haven't seen all of them from the 90s and then into the 2000s. I haven't seen them all, but some fans think there's not as much heart in him. A little too, I don't know, straight or serious. That's what I like. I mean, it's funny, right?
But
one size doesn't fit all. 1 minute you say this.
60s, it was too much heart. When they all started becoming about little kids, and there was too much heart in them for a while.
It's for kids. Some of them are really just for kids. But I still will maintain. I will maintain to the grave that Godzilla as a villain gets boring. I will, after a while. I mean, just seeing him get out of the ocean, breathe his radioactive breath on the city, destroy the tanks, and we shoot, and that's the end of it. I always like when he's after a while, he's trying to save the earth, and you have a a bad monster to fight him and stuff like that. To me, that's more interesting. And he's a hero. I kind of like that. Yeah, I like when Godzilla's a baddie too, but he started as a bad guy in 1984, and he's never been good again.
Right. Yeah, another one I plan on picking up is a film that the film is called after the biography of this actress, and it's Film Stars Don't Die in Liverpool, which this is the biography about Gloria Graham.
I watched that movie like last year or the year before. Great film.
Oh, did you? Oh, good, good. I'm glad you liked it.
I talked about it on here, actually.
Did you? I don't remember you doing. I don't remember.
Yeah,
that.
No, it was a really good film.
Right.
Why can't I think of the woman that plays Gloria Graham? Why can't
Mrs. Warren Beatty, just call her.
Yeah. But what's it?
Annette Bening.
Annette Bening
is really good.
I got her autograph.
Yeah,
it's a really good film.
I might have Warren Beatty's also. Anyway, I've seen Godzilla 2000. I saw it in the movies. That's one of the theatrical ones that when for a while they didn't play any in the theater anymore, but that was in the theater. I like that one, Godzilla 2000. And you mentioning Gamera. I mean, those are like a different studio. They're not Toho. They made the Godzilla ones, and they're really childish and really bad effects.
Yeah,
but I have a monster
that loves kids. Oh.
Yeah, oh yeah. They call them the friend of children or something.
Yeah. Kinko the clown loved kids too.
Yeah, but I like the Gamera. Some of them you wouldn't believe. Some people you haven't seen Gamera movies. The first one is pretty good. The very first one, 1965. After that, I mean, some of them you wouldn't believe what you're looking at. There used to be a lineup: Johnny Quest, The Addams Family, and Mr. Magoo Show. Used to be one of my. What used to be my favorite romance? I'm a little lost with that one.
Yeah, I am too.
Could you put that into words which even Caesar could understand?
Didn't read what he was.
I haven't used that in a while.
It's not my favorite one, but I used to love the one he used to play for Danny all the time.
Which one? I used to play a lot of them.
Stupidity. Yes.
Oh yeah. Well, I have a hard time dealing with people, because I mean, there's a lot of things, but stupid people, it's the hardest thing to deal with.
I'm afraid that stupidity always brings out the worst in me.
Stupidity?
Yes, stupidity.
It's one of my favorite quotes from a movie of all time.
And that film was what?
Frankenstein must be destroyed.
Yeah.
Meaning Dr. Frankenstein, a.k.a. Peter Cushing. That's one of my favorite of all the Hammer films, of the Hammer Frankenstein series. Which, whereas in America, when you thought Frankenstein, you usually thought about the monster. But in the Hammer ones, when you said Frankenstein, it was about the doctor, mostly. So, I want to remind people, we got the most people here at the moment. I just want to remind the people who were here earlier, people who are now just getting here, to tell you that I'm trying to make this the new time. Monday nights, 8:30 Eastern. We're going to try to do the movie show. I'll try to call it Mayo's Movie Monday or something like that, just for now. And yeah, no change in the title. Still Mr. CineMayo. I took nostalgia out of there. You want to subscribe? It was Mr. CineMayo nostalgia for a while. Not just Mr. CineMayo. That's the best. But I did change my little avatar as well. I put something for the moment that says physical media is forever against a DVD backdrop disc with my face in the center.
Love it. Love it.
So I figure most people that are coming probably will agree. Although some people will be like, "No, streaming's the best." You know, how many things
films edited? I love my films edited by somebody that thinks they know better than me what I want to watch. I love that.
Sure.
Why wouldn't you want that?
Brad was saying I can jump on at 9 and then watch the first half hour on replay. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. You know, because like I say, I'm sorry. You know, you can't appease everybody. It's hard to satisfy everybody. But I know at least that's better for you too. I remember you were saying you couldn't get here earlier. We were doing it earlier, but it works out for me doing it. Like it's sometimes even I could even do 8. But the thing with that is like I got home today. I got to pick my girlfriend up. We got it in the house at 7:45, so that's fine. Because now I'm eating separately from her. I'm eating at 6 now. Last meal of the day, 6. I can do that. You don't have to eat it when she gets home. So anyway, so now I just do it at 8:30. There's times when I get home at 7:45, I could jump on. Times we get home 8 o'clock, then I'm going to be late.
Yeah,
should make it 8 o'clock too, but yeah. James, okay, thank you. Oliver says I like this new time. Okay, there's somebody that likes the new time. Yeah. And like I say, that'll there's people in England say that it's going to be way too late for them. That's what I'm trying to think what the ultimate best time is. There's never an ultimate best time for everybody, but
no.
Somewhere around. That's why I say like even 5 p.m. is not good. Weekends, Saturdays and stuff at like 5 p.m. or something usually. Maybe. I'm in a call center until 9 p.m. at work. What's work like? What's that all about? Well, we got the most people here, so let's keep. I want to get off no later than 10 anyway, but we got a little time maybe.
Yeah.
Tuesday night was my favorite night for TV sitcoms, Channel 7, the whole night, including Happy Days. I remember when Happy Days first premiered. Yeah. And then it became ridiculous after a while.
Yeah, when it was actually set in the 50s.
Yeah. And then Chachi started having like 1980s hair or whatever it was. 1970s, late 70s. Yeah. It's like, come on, for Christ's sake. You're not even trying anymore. All right. Well, I guess we'll end it here, folks. Unless you guys got anything, just chime in. But I am very happy that we got to do this again. Tom and Tim. And what's the other thing here? I meant with that Friday night lineup on Johnny Quest, Adams Family. Johnny Quest, Adams Family, and Mr. Magoo Show was one of my favorite lineups. I think it was 64. Thank you, David.
Okay.
Thank you. And thank you, everybody, for being here. And if you're catching this on the replay again, we'll try to do this as often as we can. Sometimes not everybody can make it. Maybe Tim can't make it or Tom can't make it. Usually Tim's here usually, but we'll do it whatever. Sometimes there might be a time when I'm just going to be here. So, but, it is what it is. And if anybody wants to get in on this, if I know you kind of, and we can talk, maybe we can get more people involved. All right. So thank you, everybody. Have a good week or so until we meet again.